this is Stratton, and welcome to the Wrestling Time Post Show. It is Friday, April 26, 2024, and tonight we'll be talking about Friday Night SmackDown. Joining me for this review is none other than fellow WrestleManiac, Josh Porowski.
Hey, how's it going, Datila? Yes, I definitely am so excited to talk about the draft tonight and the additional picks that we got after SmackDown. So I want to say a shout out. Thanks again for correcting me earlier and letting me know there's more picks to come tonight. So definitely can't wait to talk about SmackDown and those new picks.
Same, and I'm sorry for making you work overtime. Josh did his review over on A Plus Hero Report. You guys want to check that out?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely never overtime when hanging out with you and also your fans here on Rangers of Wrestling. So definitely never consider overtime, just a bonus in my life here.
All right, let's kick things off talking about the draft. Tonight was the first night in the draft, and there was a lot of interesting things that happened. First round picks, SmackDown got Bianca Belair, Raw got Jey Uso, which I feel like says a lot that Bianca Belair was the first number one pick and Jey Uso was the second number one pick. As we had learned to open SmackDown, Paul Heyman said that Roman Reigns had voluntarily withdrew eligibility from the draft because he won't be returning for the foreseeable future. And he did say that those first two draft picks will go on to make history in the brand new era. So it's very interesting that's Bianca Belair and Jey Uso, which I feel says a lot.
Oh, definitely. I mean, you definitely got two picks. One, main event Jey Uso. Again, they've been pushing that narrative since, 22, 21, really since Roman returned back in 2020. So we're definitely going to eventually have him as World Heavyweight Champion, I imagine. Bianca Belair, definitely not a bad choice. I was a little surprised it wasn't Jade Cargill, but hey, look, definitely Bianca's never a bad choice. But I will point out one thing that Paul Heyman did say as well. Maybe you'll bring this up, but the real tribal chief. Really thought that was interesting verbiage tonight in his promo.
Yeah, it was interesting, especially because it seems like Solo Sikoa is the new tribal chief.
Mm-hmm.
So SmackDown also drafted Carmelo Hayes and Raw drafted that freaking Rollins. So here are the draft picks. Here's a visual: Bianca Belair, Jey Uso, Carmelo Hayes. All right. So one thing that I did think was interesting is that everybody else who's a tag team or in a faction all got drafted together, as we would see later on in the night. But Bianca got drafted solo. And I felt like that probably is because they wanted her by herself. She was the ultimate number one draft pick. But I just feel like, will Carmelo be WWE champion one day? I think so.
Oh, yeah. You don't start out, on SmackDown, again, going in the main event as we talk about later. Yeah. Oh, definitely. Again, he definitely has the aptitude and the character for it, for sure.
This draft was awful. We'll get into that as we get into it. So this first round was presented by Triple H and Cody Rhodes, which I felt was very suiting. They opened the draft.
Agree.
Round 2 was presented by Tori Wilson and Michelle McCool. SmackDown got Randy Orton, Raw got Braun Breaker. SmackDown got Nia Jax, and Raw got Liv Morgan. Here you go. Here's the second visual. So I was kind of disappointed as these drafts went on because I was like, the whole point of the draft is to shake everybody up, but yet so far everyone is staying in their respective brands. I was not a fan of that.
No, and look, we always talk about the draft kind of being a joke, right? Because the Bloodline can appear anywhere it wanted to for at least the last couple of years, right? And yeah, it was a lot of safe picks, but thinking back about it, they kept talking about, especially Triple H, I believe he said, look, sometimes you lose a superstar, but you gain a superstar. So maybe that was their way of saying tonight's going to be, I kind of say it's going to be a barometer because they're going to watch social media. They're going to see everybody's responses to these safe picks. And I'm hoping they're going to say, we got to shake things up on night 2. So I'm hoping that's going to be the case.
Yeah, me too. Because I felt like this was kind of a lackluster draft. Seriously. Okay, round 3 was presented by the Dudley Boyz, and SmackDown got L.A. Knight. Yeah. Raw got Ricochet, SmackDown got the Bloodline, and then Raw also got Sheamus. So again, everybody pretty much is staying where they're currently at. It's not much of a shakeup here.
Shout out to Wade Barrett, though, talking about putting a couple, I think it was extra slices on those burger Sheamus because you're staying on Raw. So that was pretty good. I thought I got a kick out of that. That's a great team. What is
Daniel.
that?
Oh, Daniel's rating.
Oh, a raid. Okay.
Ray. Yeah, I saw those additional draft picks. We're going to talk about them right now, Michael. So the fourth and final round was presented by JBL and Teddy Long. I thought it was so ironic that they were drafting together, considering that JBL was the
Hmm.
longest reigning SmackDown champion during the time Teddy Long was GM of SmackDown.
I was wondering if they were running out of time because Teddy Long just kind of randomly came out there like real fast, like they threw him out from the backstage, like go, 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 go. So I was expecting that Mac Militant come on again, but I didn't get it tonight. But oh well. Sorry.
Daniel says, "I finally get to rate you." Yeah, you did. Yay! It's about time. So they picked SmackDown got AJ Styles, Raw got Chad Gable and Alpha Academy, SmackDown got Andrade, which is not a surprise because Charlotte's probably gonna be on SmackDown. Raw got Kiana James, and one of the things I like was that there was a video package explaining who she was, and then she got interviewed and she said she's ready to show Raw that Kiana is the one person. Now I don't know too much about Kiana James, as I watch NXT on and off. I only watch specials, so I've seen very little of Kiana James. But what were your thoughts on this?
She's got potential. I mean, again, I will say for her, and again, I know it doesn't matter, but I'm always about character. Kiana James is the girl that's got the Michael Kors purse. She's got all the expensive things. She's a businesswoman. And tonight, she kind of dressed down. I was a little surprised the way they dressed her down. Again, not that big a deal, but keeping the gimmick, sister. So, no, Kiana James is a great pick. I'm surprised that she jumped over so many different ones. Like, can I say I would have loved Sol Ruka on Monday Night Raw? No, but I was a little surprised. But she's been there for a while. She's been there for quite a bit. So kudos to her. I would have expected more Fallon Henley, but hey, Kiana James is definitely not a bad choice for sure.
Yeah. If I can't say I disagree, very little that I've seen. But here's the fourth and final bracket. See, again, like you had Alpha Academy get drafted together as a unit, but yet Bianca couldn't get drafted with Jade Cargill.
I don't think that team's staying together long. I don't know. It just seems questionable.
Michael says he would have loved to see Fallon Henley come up. Kiana James has potential. She does have potential.
Yes. Them two feuded for a long time or were a team for a long time. So I honestly was hoping it'd be both of them. But
all right, before we get into the actual show review, there were additional draft picks on social media. Iba Filer and Isla Dawn are going to Raw. Shayna Baszler staying on Raw. We get the OC staying on SmackDown. You got Baron Corbin going to SmackDown, which is ironic because Baron Braun Breaker's on Raw now, so seems like they split up their tag team. Ivar staying on Raw. Zoe Starks is staying on Raw. And Ashanti Adonis and Cedric Alexander are staying on SmackDown. So again, it seems like there's only been a couple of shakeups here, like Nia Jax going over to SmackDown and 2 NXT call-ups. This draft pretty much had everybody stayed in their respective brands. So what was the point,
Baron Corbin moving to SmackDown is not a bad thing. I mean, definitely his team with Braun Breaker, I didn't like it at first, but they definitely became bros, and I thought it was a really good choice. I'm surprised that he's moving, but then again, his loss to Alexis King, which we talked about in Spring Break in a couple of days ago, check that out as well on our channel. I don't know. Baron Corbin moving to SmackDown again. Poor Baron Corbin has just moved so many times and nothing's really stuck. Cedric Alexander, didn't he just get killed? And we'll talk about that tonight by Braun Breaker. So I'm not really excited about this team because literally the man just got squashed like a bug. So we'll talk about that soon, but I don't know. Everybody stayed. Ivar surprises me. I really was hoping Ivar was going to move to NXT because of his new feud with Obafemi, but I'm not the booker.
Back to see Corbin being bored.
He's not wrong because Baron Corbin on NXT is an entirely different character than Baron Corbin on Raw and SmackDown. I don't know what it is about NXT. Maybe because he can be a little bit more free and a little bit more goofy, but unless he goes back to homeless and poor Baron Corbin, I don't know.
I like Baron Corbin. I thought that was a really great gimmick.
No, I agree. And they changed it so quickly. So, no, I agree.
Yeah. All right. So we had the WWE Championship match contract signing. Let me see. Back to me saying, get off my TV, Corbin. we had the contract signing between AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes. And this was a rather tame contract signing because, as you know, in wrestling, contract signings, weddings, and celebrations always end in complete disaster. So this was relatively calm. But I didn't realize until AJ Styles brought it up that he said that they haven't crossed paths despite being down the same roads, and they had to prove themselves outside of WWE. That is actually very true. By the time Cody Rhodes requested his release, AJ Styles had just signed to SmackDown. I think Cody Rhodes requested his release in 2016, which is the same year that AJ Styles joined the WWE. So it surprises me that they never crossed paths before. So I'm hoping that we're in for a banger.
And if I'm right, and again, I mean, I'm not, this is more going to be Indy's thing, but I believe once one left, I believe AJ left the Bullet Club and Cody Rhodes, if I'm correct. I know that there was a crossover where one left and there was a changeover there. But yeah, I mean, the fact that they weren't in TNA together because AJ Styles was in WWE by that time. So it's crazy to think they've never crossed paths this entire time. And AJ's, been in TNA forever. And Cody Rhodes they both started, I mean, relatively. The fact that these two entities never cross paths is crazy to me after 20-something years.
Now, AJ Styles does bring up Dusty because I believe in TNA, AJ Styles had a match with Dusty Rhodes.
Yes. Yes, he did. And Dusty was a producer there for a long time, seemingly.
So Cody says this isn't a dream match. It's a must win. And he extends his hand to AJ Styles. And Styles says it's a beautiful thing to see Cody Rhodes finish his story, but his title reign is going to end at Backlash. And they shake hands. And then Triple H comes out, shakes Cody's hand, and, they're getting ready for the draft. But we talked about the draft. So I thought this was, like I said, rather interesting segment. I cannot wait for that match.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, one of the more calmer contract signings.
But I think I like the way they designed the set this time. It wasn't one table; they weren't right next to each other, and I really love the visual because I'm all about visual and camera work, right? As I do that on the side. I loved how you had that shot of both of them in the WWE title right in between them. So I really loved the way they set this up, almost like a press conference. I thought it was a pretty cool way they did it tonight. It's different.
Agreed. That was a nice shot. Very different. So we get a Carmelo Hayes segment. Basically, after getting drafted in the first round, he comes out, and right away the crowd starts chanting, "Whoop that trick," because, of Trick Williams. And he mentioned how Cody said that if you come at the king, you better not miss. And as we all know, Melo does not miss. So he shot his shot. And Cody Rhodes accepted his challenge into the main event was going to be Cody Rhodes versus Carmelo Hayes.
Good way to introduce Carmelo Hayes. I mean, again, he's been on SmackDown a couple of times, but this definitely is a step up for Carmelo, for sure.
I agree. I cannot wait to see what they do with Carmelo Hayes on SmackDown. And, I was a little hesitant about that match because, as we know, things don't usually end well for main roster, for NXT roster jobs picks, but we'll talk about that when we get to the main event.
It's a new era. You never know.
But the more things change, the more they stay the same, unfortunately.
Yep. Always. So,
we had Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo versus Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee. Now, I'm getting kind of tired of this feud. This has got to end somewhere.
Please.
Let me see. I could say that about the draft. Say what?
Can't we all? We're tired of it. It's not effective. So
the LWO won this round. And then at the end, Santos Escobar and Electra came out and pretty much put a stop to the LWO celebration. And I was going to say Carmen Electra. I caught myself though. Electra pretty much found the security footage. And it shows Carlito attacking Dragon Lee, and then he attacks Dragon Lee, and he pretty much flees. So it's no surprise here. I think it was pretty obvious it was Carlito. There were signs. He wasn't wearing the LWO shirt. He found Dragon Lee. We all saw this coming.
Where was my apple, Carlito? Just spit in the face of people who are not cool. Just do it.
Right.
I was waiting for that.
But you know what's funny? It makes sense that it happened, that the reveal happened this week. Because if you remember, Carlito was the one who snitched on Santos Escobar. So now Santos Escobar snitched on him.
Well, in the LWO, really, I mean, I hate to say it, but Carlito technically will have a point that he helped out in Puerto Rico, but after that, he was kind of relegated to just, just some random member. So I'm kind of liking this story because it's a little bit of shade of gray this time because there is a reason the heel has this.
Michael says he'd take Carmen Electra over Electra Lopez.
Maybe 20 years ago, 30. I wouldn't say now, but that's just me.
We get Bron Breakker versus Cedric Alexander. What is there to say about this? This was a squash match, or as my buddy Lucha likes to say, an enhancement match. There wasn't much to this. I don't know what Cedric, I feel like he's done for.
Just fire him.
Carrillo works better as a heel than a babyface. That is true.
Always. I mean, look, Cameron Grimes didn't survive Braun Spear either, and he got cut. So who knows? We might have Cedric Alexander be let it go again. Who knows? I wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah, this is not good. I feel bad for Cedric. He's a great talent. He hasn't had time to shine though.
No, he really hasn't.
So we get a Tiffany Stratton segment, and she's basically asking for a title match. And basically, we find out that Bayley suggested her versus have Tiffany Stratton face Naomi with a winner facing her at Backlash. Cedric will be in the next list of budget cuts. I think so.
Indeed.
All right, so what did you think of this segment?
Look, Tiffany Stratton, I'm just going to say it, is one of my guilty pleasures. She definitely is, young, but definitely has the charisma and definitely has the talent. The one thing for if I was Naomi, I'd be a little pissed though, because I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. She cost me the match, and now I'm going to have to fight her again to face you again. So I can't say it was the best babyface move. I get it to a degree, but I kind of was like, really, it should be you get a match against me, and then Tiffany, you get next. But, in WWE's world, not everything has to make sense.
Does anything, it's like, back in the day, nothing used to make sense. And the more things change, the more they stay the same.
R-Truth makes sense. That's the only man that has it all right.
I love Stratton. It's her time to shine. I heard they quickly want to give her the title. Stratton, I'm not saying she's bad or anything. But
she's new. Unless you watched her in NXT, she's very new. But this is the thing about Stratton. She was an NXT gimmick that I really did not think was going to have legs to continue in NXT, much less on the main roster, because again, it is a very Barbie-esque. And I mean, look, they took advantage of the Barbie movie, right? But she has surprised me with her athleticism, and she got better and better and better and better. So I'm all for it.
Michael said you to watch your NXT matches.
I mean, it will establish her a little bit better than you've seen on the main roster. After her last match, I mean, she definitely has something. I've left you speechless now.
Recommend me a match, and maybe I'll check it out.
All right, I'll have to find one for you.
We get a Bloodline segment, and I feel bad for Paul Heyman. Is he being held hostage here? Does he need help? Maybe he should blink twice if he needs help. Because he apologizes to Solo for not opening the door for him. And, Solo basically, wants to know if they got drafted. And then, Kevin Owens attacks Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga. All of her matches. Okay. So, it seems like Kevin Owens is back to feuding with the Bloodline after this.
Kevin Owens can feud with anybody, and the one thing I love about Kevin Owens is he's got believability. If I could be Kevin Owens in the best way of being just a man that just would fight anybody, I don't know. I can't get tired of Owens in the Bloodline because he always has been fighting them, and he always references he's fought them all this time. So it's a little weird, but it's not Roman Reigns. At least it's at least somebody different.
That's true. We get a Bianca Belair interview. And basically, this sets up the fact that she and Jade Cargill are going to face the Kabuki Warriors for those tag titles. And she says that she hopes Jade gets drafted over to SmackDown, which more than likely I feel like she is.
I don't know. I'm hoping they break them up. I'm hoping Jade turns heel on her and costs her the damn titles. That's just me.
No, I want them to be a tag team. I think Bianca being in a tag team would suit her. I think they will win the titles at Backlash. Yeah, they do. Because Bianca, she's been a singles competitor for a long time. I feel like her being in a tag team would change things for her because they're obviously not going to turn her a heel.
Better than being Sasha. So, I mean, I agree. I mean, the team's great. I don't know. It just seems different. But hey, I like the Kabuki Warriors, so I don't want to have them split up either. But I would watch a feud with them, so I wouldn't be upset about that either.
I like the Kabuki Warriors too, but
I don't know. Again, guilty pleasure team for me.
They're not going to have Jade lose. And if she does lose a match, she's not going to be the one to take the pin.
It's going to be Kairi's going to take the pin. I hope and pray they don't kill Asuka off, but, I said that before.
So, as the all women are talking, because the Kabuki Warriors show up and Jade Carter shows up, Kevin Owens and Tama Tonga come out fighting on the ramp. Then Solo attacks KO, and then Randy Orton helps Kevin Owens here.
I love the continuity. I love that they're continuing segment between segment because that's how the Attitude Era was. One would bleed into the other sometimes.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. You know what I just realized? Oh, okay. Later on in the night, we learned that Teddy Long announced the Bloodline versus Kevin Owens and Randy Orton.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny how, it's RKO. If you want to get mathematical here, it's RKO squared or RKO to the second power.
Yes, I love it. That's a great team choice because, like I said on the A+ earlier, that I love this dynamic because, you go back to Riddle and Randy Orton. Randy Orton was kind of the hothead. Riddle was kind of the chill one. And now I think we're going to have it to where KO is the hothead. And Orton, who is typically known in his character to be a hothead, now is going to be kind of like the chill dude. It's all right, man. Take it easy. So it's going to be a really cool dynamic, I think, between them two.
Michael says, holla, holla, player. We got a tag team match at Backlash. Holla. It's so funny that Teddy Long, of all people, made that match.
Of course, it was great.
All that was missing was for him to put someone go one-on-one with the Undertaker.
The Undertaker. Yep. Classic. All
right, we get the number one contenders match, Naomi versus Tiffany Stratton. And this match ends in stoppage because Nia Jax attacks Bayley on commentary. And Naomi attempts to help Bayley. And then Tiffany does the prettiest moonsault to both Bayley and Naomi. So as later on we learn by Nick Aldis, it'll be a triple threat match at Backlash for the women's title. Bayley versus Naomi versus Tiffany. I like that we got him doing the SmackDown pick since he was a former GM. Yeah, that's true. Me too.
I would agree.
So I feel like this triple threat match, if you're going to give Tiffany the title, it's a perfect opportunity to give her the title because then she doesn't, because then Bayley could lose the title without having to get pinned here.
Right. But then that would sacrifice your girl Naomi. And that
would sacrifice Naomi there, which I would not be happy about.
Let Bayley can take a loss. It's not going to hurt her to take a loss. Poor Naomi has taken a loss. I mean, that Elimination Chamber elimination, God, that hurt her so bad, at least in my mind. Let Bayley take the loss this time.
I think
because Nia could cause it. Nia's not in the match, so Nia technically could cause and have a feud between Bayley and Nia. Do I really want to see that barn burner? No, but dumpster fires sometimes are fun to watch. Enter Nia Jax.
Yeah, and since it's a triple threat match, there's no disqualification, so we'll see. Where would Julia land? Is she going to NXT? Yeah, I think she's more than likely going to NXT.
She's part of some new Japanese promotion for a little bit, I think, and then it's going to come in NXT later. So I don't know. That's a weird dynamic that they have, that they're working with another. Indy knows more about it probably than I do, but she's apparently part of a Japanese promotion now too. So go figure.
We get a Street Profits segment. Let me see. I was thinking it was going to be a Fatal 4-Way with Nia being right. I kind of thought so too, but she's not in it.
It still could be. You never know. She could bully Nick Aldis, which nobody really does, which I like, but you never know. If it was Raw, she would.
Yeah, that's true. Nick Aldis has more control over SmackDown than Adam Pearce does of Raw.
Exactly.
So we find out the Street Profits are going to challenge 8-Town Down Under for those tag titles. And, Bobby Lashley shows up. 8-Town Down Under also interrupt and mention the Bangles.
Cheap heat. This was a quick segment to basically hype the match next week, which was okay. That's fine. I mean, did it make me excited for it? Yes and no, but they got to get that in there, right? So nothing wrong with that.
All right, so the main event ends up being Cody Rhodes versus Carmelo Hayes. I thought this was a good match. Great showing by Carmelo Hayes. I just felt like, damn, they gave him a loose situation here. There was no way he was going to beat Cody Rhodes on his debut match.
See, the thing is, I mean, you could have had AJ Styles, even if it was he hit the crossroads 1, 2, then he attacks him essentially, and Carmelo either disappears because he's a heel technically. You could have done something. I think you could have even set up a match between Carmelo and another superstar coming to help out Cody Rhodes. Now, who, I don't know. But it was a little weird. But, I mean, if I remember correctly, Bryan Danielson, back in the day, Daniel Bryan lost, I think it was to The Miz. And so, I'm sorry, Jericho, the World Heavyweight Champion on NXT back in the day. So, will it hurt Carmelo? It does, because it is the typical curse of the NXT star. They're not going to go over on their first night. That's the test, right? Are you going to be able to be on the main roster because you're not winning tonight? So, is what it is. Unless your name's Braun Breaker, then you're going to kill somebody.
Good match, but no one should complain that it's just one loss for Melo.
Technically 2, though, because he lost a Trick and got whooped by also Cody and also Trick Williams. So,
I wonder if Cody Rhodes is okay, because he landed on his shoulder and it looked like it was hurting.
I was thinking the same thing.
I hope he's okay.
Will he finish his story early?
Don't put that evil out there, Ricky Bobby.
I'm just saying, AJ Styles winning the championship. AJ swole. I would not be upset AJ Styles winning the championship. It's been a long time since he's been champion. So they could play it off.
Cody looks hurt. Carmelo should be fine after this. Okay, it depends on his booking after this match. As long as they book him good and he's got a great storyline, he would be fine. But if he's just kind of like there, then...
Why do I feel we're going to see Logan Paul and Carmelo eventually? Because it just seems like them two would have fun together.
Huh? Interesting. That would be interesting. So at the end, like, Cody Rhodes gives respect to Carmelo Hayes. Like, that was a great match. And then AJ Styles enters the ring and he kind of is just staring at Cody. And then both men shake hands. So, like, I thought it was interesting. I thought AJ Styles was going to attack Cody Rhodes.
Right. That being his character. I don't understand. I don't understand this, because I understand we don't want to have the Cody Avengers moment again. But look, you got the OC on SmackDown. You got the whole Bullet Club aspect of the history of all of them. And maybe they'll go there. I hope they do, because you've got the history of the Bullet Club between them. Now, granted, nobody really knows who the Bullet Club is. But now at this point, they're talking about everybody. They had Jordan Grace in the freaking Royal Rumble, for goodness sake, and talked about their history. Bring the damn OC together, make them the club, and just talk about it, because it's the story's there. So why not have it? I don't like this AJ Styles being respectful. It's a very weird babyface type thing to do.
No, we need Logan versus LA Knight. Yeah, we do. Hopefully that happens. Hopefully that's the next thing for him.
I would agree.
But on a scale from a 1 to a Sean Spears perfect 10, what would you rank tonight's show?
To be honest with you, the LWO match was nothing. It was hurt by a commercial break. Tiffany and Naomi, I definitely would watch again. I thought they were pretty good. Again, they always get interrupted, but they started getting a good gear. The Cody Carmelo match was pretty good. I'm going to give it an 8 tonight. Now, for the draft, a 4. But for the show overall, at least match quality wise, I thought pretty good. There wasn't anything serviceable, or anything not serviceable, I should say.
Michael gives it a 6.
Fair enough. The draft did hurt the number.
I was not a huge fan of the draft. I felt like this was kind of like a throwaway episode.
That one usually is, seems like.
The draft really was not, the best thing out there. I did like the contract signing between AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes. I liked the main event with Cody Rhodes and Carmelo Hayes. I did not like the fact that Naomi and Tiffany match ended the way it did. Granted, I get it, makes sense storyline wise for what they went. But aside from that, I felt like this was kind of a very weak episode of SmackDown.
The star power, I mean, there's a reason why they brought all the legends back, because they needed somebody to do something. Because you didn't want all this out there. You didn't want Pierce out there boring the crowd. I mean, I'm sorry to say it, but we need new GMs. I need Aldis to eventually have enough of the superstars to become a superstar himself at this point. And Pierce, I don't know if Scrap Daddy's going to ever be back in the ring again, but I don't know. I don't feel that sort of excitement. I remember it was Paul Heyman and Bischoff for the draft, and I felt like, Vince and Ric Flair back in the 02 draft. I don't feel the tension between Aldis and Pierce. I really don't. They just don't play into it well enough. And poor Ava, she didn't even get an appearance on the show.
Right? She didn't.
And where was NXT picks? I thought NXT was supposed to get picks too, weren't they? Unless I missed something.
I thought so too, but I guess not. Maybe on Monday.
Maybe.
All right. So for me, I give it a 6. I agree with Michael. I think that this is a 6 out of 10. Very weak episode. The job sucked. Yeah, it was not a great SmackDown.
If it weren't for the two matches, if it weren't for the two matches, I would give it probably a 6 too. But I actually like the two matches that we had tonight.
I like them too, but still, All right, as we get ready to wrap up, Josh, where can people find you?
Gamer Peroski, again, under the WrestleManiacs podcast, which is under the A+ Hero Report banner. So definitely a fun time over at WrestleManiacs.
As for myself, you can follow me on Twitter at @Datila_. I talk all things wrestling, WWE, AEW, and TNA. I go live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, occasional Saturdays and Sundays, depending on if there's a pay-per-view. For all things TNA, check me out on Body Slam every Saturday. I mean, every Thursday. Every Thursday, check me out on Body Slam. I did go to Rebellion, and I was at the taping, so make sure you check out my YouTube channel for those clips. And with that being said, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and I will see you guys Monday after Raw. Bye.
See you later.